got a kid out there playing a game a little bit loud, but I was just on my tablet and, shit pops up on my feed, and it's when Christo's Avatar short just popped up, and I'm gonna press play, but pretty much it's really hard to not put people in fear trying to wake them up. It's really fucking hard. I saw this short and it sent chills down my fucking spine, because this is what these entities, this is very fucking close to what these entities actually look like. And this is just like a tiny piece of what the fuck is going on here and the creatures that are actually out there. And literally I saw this short and I am like, it makes my back fucking shake. I mean, obviously he's using AI and he is typing in the descriptions between the ones that Ashiana Dean has given and the ones that are on Ascension Glossary. And I know full fucking well that both of those women have brought forth a shitload of information that is correct. I'm not a fucking idiot. I have a lot of memories and a lot of their information is correct. I'm gonna play this and then I'm gonna come back and stitch some shit together real quick a little bit later on. But I'm actually gonna push play.
The fallen angelic Dracon extraterrestrial species are dragon, lizard-like, dinosaur-like reptilians with wings, a sentient, intelligent alien race with a tendency toward aggression and warlike behavior. The Dracon, dragons, or Draconian, coming out of Alpha Draconis and the Orion star systems, who are expert geneticists and scientists, came to Earth approximately 1 million years ago and contaminated the human genetic code, which has altered...
Like, oh, I guess it's not gonna work. Creeped the fuck out to actually see a generated image that looks like that, because that is pretty fucking accurate. So it's like, how do you fucking wake people up? Like,
the human genetic code, which has altered our evolutionary imprint. And they also created a Dracon human lizard-like hybrid called the Dracos. The Dracon ETs are connected to and the masterminds of the Council of Nicaea, Church of Rome, Holocaust of 1941, treaties with the military-industrial complex, human abduction, global health mafia, big pharma, chemtrails and geoengineering, satanic ritual abuse, and adrenochrome harvesting.
Literally, like, fucking horrifying. And where is I don't know, my kid's being loud. I'll be back. All right, my kid's still out there playing, but I was looking for my fucking book. Like I said, I've been very lucky as to have a small handful of trusted people whose intentions I trust in them giving me guidance. And this was like notes that I was like taking off of people's information, and I was going to like text up and make it look better and present it that way, but I just kind of don't give a fuck. But it kind of started with being told about Bernhard Gunther, Laura Matsu, and Tom Montauk. And this is the main videos that I was given as some of their most important and informational videos. And what? It's done. Yeah. But anyway, this was their most important episodes, pretty much, so far as my homie could remember. And this is just some other things that I was given to really kind of hone in and focus on. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy shit. And this book, Dispelling Whitico by Paul Levy, was super brought up. But I guess that Tom Montauk has a lot of information about how pretty much when you choose to not sleep around with jabbed people and all of that shit, that it pretty much doesn't even fucking matter, because he has a lot of analysis done on people who are, we'll say, like in married monogamous relationships where neither of them are jabbed, but under a microscope their blood looks at the minimum like 50% jabbed anyway. There is little circle Legos stacking in even the most cautious people out there's blood. And this Walter Russell guy, he, I guess, has been picking apart Oceana Dean information and has pretty much stated that most people running the Kewantic Science Facebook pages and shit like that are pretty much highly adept dark magicians, and 5 out of 10 to be conservative and about 8 out of 10 to be probably more realistic of the people running these groups, workshops, and communities are part of an organized operation where they are intentionally corrupting coding, talking in negative energy spell work, blah, blah, blah. This guy has picked apart the high Vecca codes and has claimed to have found distortions, and that it looks like Oceana Dean has put her own coding for her own DNA contracts, her negative bullshit, laced it into that shit. And I was definitely warned, though, even about this guy, because he is so good and deals with the most sophisticated attacks and all of this shit. Like, it is a fucking unfathomable amount of fucking information flying around. And it was kind of given to me as an example. If the just under 60,000 people following Christo's avatar, if his fan base alone suddenly right this minute became 100% aware of all of the details of distortions being pointed out by other people, that it could cause a lot of chaos, response, retaliation, and totally new disinformation tactics could be implemented. It's a massive, sophisticated operation to keep the waters muddied, basically. And, yeah, brought up a lot of women. Like I said, I have pissed off so many women just by checking out my analytics alone, by speaking out against Ashiana Dean and Lisa Renee. But it is so many people talking about this shit. And I am literally, hey, watch your mouth! Watch your mouth! I am literally, hold on. I said, watch your mouth! It's fine. Okay, so anyway. Example. These chicks dancing on Instagram with their Christic light codes, and they're literally trying to look sexy, and it's literally a big red flag for succubus energy. And people out here like, hey, look at my activation video, when they are intentionally distorting information, is the mental equivalent to putting a dirty needle off the streets into your arm mentally. And again, here's that, and then here's this. It is not hard to find this information. And it is a disgusting amount of people, even brave women, and I'm telling you, there are so many small YouTube channels, brave women bringing forth this information too, for the women who've watched my information and watched my channel that I've pissed off. It's called the reality. Now, again, I'm not a fucking idiot, and I think that a lot of the information that both of these women, although it is different, it looks accurate, a lot of it. It is the bullshit that Ashiana Dean, she's so much more obviously fucked and so much more obviously doing fucked up bitchcraft. And Lisa Renee looks like the lesser of the two fucking problems. But it is shit like this that is everywhere.
Hi guys, how are you? So nice to connect to you. My name is Laura. This is Pleiadian Healer from PleiadianHealer.com, and welcome to this video. So I am going to do a little mini series of a few videos, and it's going to start with this one. So I'm not really sure how long it's going to be, but I'm basically just going to share insight of sessions that I've had with clients and what came through. And some of these clients were actually also former clients of some of the psychics that were on the list to be reviewed. The first one we're going to start off with is Lisa Renee from Energy Synthesis. So we'll pull up her website too quickly. But basically, this is the series is going to highlight why these psychics don't give sessions anymore and what type of damage they've done to these people. So we're going to start it off with Lisa Renee, because she was the first one where I actually had clients about a year ago, back in 2021. Not sure when you're going to see this video. So I would say around the fall of 2021. And it was two clients. So it was actually a couple, a man and a woman. And I'll share insight on both people. And they were former clients of this person, Lisa Renee. Energy Synthesis is her website and everything. So people have asked me, hey, why don't you review her and yada yada. And I'm like, it's like a throat blockage coming through while I'm even talking. They don't want anyone to speak out against any of these people.
Literally.
I haven't reviewed her material yet. I might make a separate review video on it. You see a lot of this New Age symbology right here, right? Like you have these multiple stars and whatnot. You have like this chakra colored whatever. So even her website has a lot of codings and encodings.
Everybody calls everybody else New Age. Literally, it is so fucking annoying. Everybody's New Agey. This information is fucking ancient, though. However, there are people who have looked at the three flames main symbol of hers, and who are saying things like it is potentially sigil, like there's buried sigil work in there, like this.
That are going to affect you energetically for sure. They're going to pull you in this lower vibrational thing that the New Age wants you in. You know, the New Age is always about love and light and going from 3D to 5D, the ascension trap, but it's not true. Like all of these things, you know, like the symbols that we just saw, all of those symbols are meant to drag you into more of this lower thing and to keep you trapped there. And a lot of trauma victims fall for the New Age too because of that, because they keep recycling their trauma experiences over and over again with the New Age. So Lori Ladd, Full Good, all of these people, possibly also Magenta Pixie, all of these people are a good example of how, you know, former or still trauma victims are making their money off of recycling their traumas over and over again in their so-called teachings or whatever. And people who had a trauma are going to attract other trauma victims, which is also why those people are attracted to their teachings and whatnot. So anyhow, this is Lisa Renee. I'm trying to make this thing a little bit larger too. And so I was contacted, you know, this is right after I was featured on Project Camelot, and I might air that video on this channel again too. I'm not 100% sure at this point, but basically I was contacted by all these people who are in a whole different psyop, let's put it that way. You know, they're in the psyop of certain people, a certain person, a former leader or whatever, is still in control of this reality. You know, the person who was in charge of the US from 2016 to 2020, and that he's coming back and all of that. So they're kind of like on a different spectrum than some New Agers are. And a lot of those people were kind of in between the truther community and the New Age community. So it was an interesting mix just to see a lot of these psyops play out in different ways. But ultimately, it's always a psyop about give your power away to these random people to either channel information or truthers, just like the Archaics crowd too, who, you know, spent like 30 plus years in prison, but yeah, they definitely know what's going on because they're elevated onto these god pedestals and whatnot. So that's basically the type of people that were attracted to my site and my former channel too, which was taken down, by the way, with a whole lot of followers than we have now. But basically they were attracted to it. And so 2021 was an interesting year in that sense. It did give me a lot of good practice, though, and a lot of good practice in discernment as well. So I was contacted in fall 2021 by this one person. I'm not going to name any names or anything. And the person's writing, my husband and I were so happy to have recently found your work online. We have been on a path of ascension, awakening for many years, and we're clients of Lisa Renee's for a long time. Maybe you know her when she still did private sessions. This is always the kicker. You know, these people don't give private sessions anymore. Like none of the people that I've so far reviewed and that are going to be reviewed in the future, they don't give private sessions. You know, as someone who actually took sessions with Elizabeth April and also took a workshop with Phil Good in the past, I know exactly that these sessions are absolute worthless, they're garbage, and they're also very dangerous and misleading. So I took a few sessions with Elizabeth April where I was, in the last one, it was so bad, I even demanded my money back, and there was obviously no reply from that person. But these sessions are very dangerous. When you see through them, they're very dangerous, misleading. And in her case, it turns out they put a whole bunch of stuff into her energy field too. So they're just saying, we're looking forward to connecting and working with you and all the things. And so this couple, you know, as lovely as they are, they were really under this huge illusion that they're almost already in 5D. You know, they have children too, which really hurt me to see, because I'm like, okay, so at this point, it's not just about you and her or you and him. At this point, you're parents to children, and you're trying to put your psyop onto your kids somehow, because I'm pretty sure when someone's just so bought up by this agenda, they're transferring over into parenting styles and all of that too. So for me, that's where I see the real danger. You know, people who are really under the psyop, okay, you can be under your psyop alone, but if you're actually transferring that over onto your child, raising your child vegan, which is pretty malnourishing at a certain stage, especially as a teenager, you need meat no matter what, because you're growing so much. But you're raising them vegan, you're raising them in the sense of, oh, you're in a 5D consciousness ascension. By the time you're an adult, you're going to be in a whole new world, a new earth, and all of that. So I was already very apprehensive about that, because I'm like, it's, everyone can have a kid, don't get me wrong, but there's a damage here, and that really hurts to see. Once you see through all these deceptions, there is a damage, right? And the damage is going to be the child has to at one point just get rid of all of that and start new somehow, because it's kind of like you're being raised super religious in a similar way, right? And you kind of have to un-F yourself from all those programs that your parents and society is putting on you. So I saw that like in a similar way with these people. But basically the session insight that came through, so we're going to start with her, was there was a regular stuff like removals, cord removals. So this is the shamanic healings that I do. You can find more info on my website, pleadinghealer.com. But basically, the main point was there were always these cords and implants that tried to keep her in a different reality. And I do think they came from Lisa Renee. Whoever gave that healing to her and said they were Lisa Renee, I'm pretty sure it was her, though. There was a thick cord over the third eye causing interference with psychic insight. So that was interesting to me, because it kind of feels like Lisa Renee put that over to really mess with her psychic insight, so that these people have to come back over and over again and keep requesting sessions, which obviously costs money, right? So people who know, whoever took a session with me, I'm from a self-empowering standpoint. You have one session with me, and I usually don't say have another session. For me, I'd rather people find their own path, their own power through one session than keep coming back over and over again. So that's my standpoint. That's the school of thought that I was taught to when I did my training a few years back.
There's this, if anybody would like to look her up. And there is, surprise, surprise, a lot of comments of other people talking about this shit. Lots of other people. And the problem here is, I understand a lot of the stuff on Ascension Glossary just from reading through it, because I'm fucking old. And this, why does her stuff on Ascension Glossary make so much sense though? A lot of the information simply reflects what happened in my life, and it's too detailed to be coincidental, especially when it couldn't be found anywhere else. Yes, I feel that way too. The problem is their side bullshit, like their private, like her and her private sessions, and Ashiana Dean with her sneaking fucking implanting, and then the fucking cult followers who cannot stand to hear this, just like a cult religion. And I'm not making a YouTube channel to make money. This awakening of mine blew my fucking life up, and I'm literally waiting for disability. I am so fucking traumatized by everything that happened to me, by the response that I've gotten. And honestly, Sethicus Boza, honestly, in hindsight, He gave me about the fucking best advice that he could have. I messaged him freaking the fuck out when Solar Lion canceled yet again another shamanic healing that I knew I was going to need in order for somebody like Indigo Angel to look at me and not fucking judge me, because I have fucking damage. I know I have damage, my light body. I know that I have fucking shit that needs shamanically cleared off of me. And Boza sincerely did the best he fucking could to respond to me with good advice, as whatever the fuck that is, you know, Elijah, that is not a good fucking name. Get that entity out of your body. He then, after I sent him money for his time, even though he hurt my feelings, he thanked me for sending him a donation and was like, you know, if you ever want to work on, you know, one-on-one or whatever, you know, let me know. I can't afford that though. And that's not his fucking fault. People like him are trying to make a decent living, and they have busted their asses to get to where they are. They're not Lisa Reneeing people. They're not Ashiana Deaning people and ass raping people financially. But it is still a problem for a lot of people like myself. And, you know, so, you know, I've probably been a dick about Boza, because at the time I didn't understand my Indigo 3 shit. Like, I didn't understand how ancient an entity he is. And my only fucking problem with Indigo Angel was me reaching out to her, and the fact that I couldn't afford to have a long conversation with her. Like, I couldn't afford her time, so she kind of insta-judged me. But because I was fucking scared, I was literally scared of that, I think October 4th or whatever broadcast. I was so fucking scared about that time. And it wasn't over the broadcast, it was over the fucking war in Israel. And I didn't understand why I was so scared. And I reached out to her because she has kids, and I could feel this shit boiling. And I'm like, something really fucking bad is gonna happen, and I'm just scared that you have kids, and I feel bonded to you. Like, I really feel some type of way about your and your kids' fucking safety. And she was just kind of like, well, that feels like a Metatronic distortion, because I was fucking scared. So if you cannot afford to go the proper means of reaching out to the ones who actually are worth your time, the best you could do is boot camp yourself through Mark Passio's podcast. It is intense information, but it is also free. And it's a commitment. This dude is intense, and this information is intense. And I'm watching every fucking podcast, although I know a lot of groundwork and shit and a lot of other stuff. I literally have to commit to watching that podcast, because there's so much shit that I don't fucking know still about everything he's talking about. And that is the best advice I could give anybody, is to boot camp yourself through somebody who's not lacing their shit with fucking bitchcraft like Mark Passio. Literally, these women have fucking overstepped so badly. And me as a woman almost have trust issues with fucking women after seeing what they've done to this entire community, this entire movement. And literally, I just don't think, I don't think, I'm appreciative. I'll go there. I'm appreciative for the men who have reached out to me, who have done things like Boza's full initiations and stuff like that. Thank you to the men who have been watching me fumble fucking through this. Fuck, hold on. Okay. Oh, my kids. Okay, I gotta go. Bye. Thanks for the good advice to the men who've reached out to me is all I'm gonna say. Bye.